Hello everyone, so I thought I'd do a quick tutorial for today because why not, and let's just jump right into it. So first off, I'm doing my brows. I do use the E.L.F. brow cream in the shade Espresso. I go ahead and brush it out with the spoolie and I line the top, bottom, and then fill my way in. After that, I go ahead and apply concealer. I do use the E.L.F. 16-Hour Camo Concealer in the shade Medium Sand on my eyelid, so I'll just go ahead and do a couple dots and then blend that out as needed. The reason I do that is because it does make my shades a lot brighter, and it helps them stay on longer as well. Once we're done with that, I go in with a flat brush. I add some more concealer to that, and I'll go ahead and just clean up around the brow area. In general, I just find that it helps give it a crisper, cleaner look. Now, for this makeup tutorial today, we'll be using the original Jaclyn Hill palette. I will say, if you do not have this palette, I definitely recommend it. I got it when I first started doing makeup, and it is still one of my favorite palettes. The shades are super buttery, super pigmented, not a lot of fallout. It's just great to work with. So the first thing I did is I went ahead and grabbed a big fluffy brush and just worked in a transition color. So I went ahead and grabbed a light brown to go ahead and begin the transition, as well as to set my eyelids because I did set down that concealer. So after that, I just went ahead and went in with a couple more brown shades. Again, just to define that crease area. Now for me, I do have hooded eyelids, which means I have to create a false illusion of where my crease actually is. So I'll create a false crease right above where my natural crease is to give the illusion that my eyes are a little bit more open than what they actually are. Again, this is simply because I have hooded eyelids that I have to make that extra step so that my makeup is actually visible versus hidden. So I just went back in and grabbed a little bit of a darker shade to make that crease really start to pop a little bit more. And really what you want to do is you just want to take your brush, dab it in there a couple of times, and then blend it out. When blending, just use rotating motions, and that'll really blend out the eyeshadow colors. And we want to make sure that both of them are even. So if you notice that one has a little bit more color than the other, just go back in and, easily fixable. Now what I'm doing is going in with the Makeup Revolution Cut Crease Canvas that is in the shade Halo. The reason I'm putting that on is so that the next colors that I'll be using will really pop. So using concealer does make the eyeshadows appear brighter and last longer, but I do notice that with the cut crease canvas, it does it a lot better. So I went in with a darker brown red shade first, and then went in with the shade Jada. It is a beautiful turquoise shade, and that's what I really wanted to show off and have it be the showcase of this look. So I went ahead and did that. I added Jada in, and then I added a little bit more brown around the eyeshadow to the crease. Yes, I did just use my finger to add on the shimmer. It's ratchet, whatever. You know what? I think it looks a lot better if you do it with a finger versus with a brush. It just for some reason does. I did also add a little bit of color into the inner lid, just to bring a little pop of brightness. Now after that, I went ahead and grabbed my E.L.F. Putty primer. I love this primer. It does help make my pores look a little bit more minimized, and it's also got a little bit of grip to help my foundation stay on. And speaking of foundation, we go ahead and went in with the Makeup Revolution Conceal Define Full Coverage Foundation in shade F12. I love this foundation. I did have their original stick foundation. I wasn't a huge fan of that one, but this one I do like. So I just go in there and add as much as needed and buff it out with an oval brush. I do find I like using a wet sponge or an oval brush. Those are my two favorite ways to get my foundation on. And for today, I just used an oval brush because why not? So we just want to make sure that we evenly distribute it and evenly place the foundation and make sure that we've got enough of it on there. Now after that, we go ahead and go in with a concealer. Again, this is the 16-hour Camo Concealer in shade Medium Sand. It is a little too light for me, but I already bought it and it was too late once I realized it, so I might as well still use it, right? So I just went in with my Real Techniques sponge. It is wet, and just buffed it out. I want to make sure that it's super, super well buffed before setting it in place so that it doesn't crease. So that's what I went ahead and did. Accidentally took a little bit of my eyeshadow off, so I went ahead and filled that in. So to set it, I do use the Makeup Revolution Bacon Blot in this shade Lace. I'll just grab any brush and just kind of, first I will set the area under my eyes, then do my T-zone in the area right under where I would contour. After that, we go ahead and go in with mascara. I do curl my lashes, and I use the Colossal Maybelline Big Shot Volume Express Mascara. Now, after that step, what I do is I do go in with powdered foundation to wipe away the baking powder. I use the Fit Me Loose Finishing Foundation Powder in shade 25. I just find that it helps to add a little bit more coverage to my look. Like I said, I do like a full coverage look, so that is what helps give a little bit extra coverage. Definitely not needed. You could just use your regular clean brush to wipe that away. But again, for me, I like extra coverage. Once I'm done with that, I go ahead and go in with the E.L.F. liquid liner in Jet Black. I do have to say, even though it is E.L.F., it is affordable. It's, under $5. It is amazing. I am in love with this eyeliner. So I go ahead and just kind of start from the inside out, work my way towards the wing. Once I get to the wing, I just kind of find where I want to place it and work my way out in from the outside to the inside, if that makes any sense. I try to make my wing thin and then just work it in. I will say, depending on your eye shape, it is going to differ how the winged liner looks. Now we're going to go ahead and contour. This is the Ulta Contour Kit, and I go ahead and go in with two different shades. I like using the shade Golden Bronzer and Bombshell Bronzer. So what I do is I just take a brush and dip it into both of those shades together and go around my cheekbone area as well as up into my temples, just to kind of contour and give the illusion that my face is a little bit slimmer than it actually is. I will also go under the jawbone area to give and create that shadow. Once we're done with that, I go ahead and grab the Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer. I have the shade Queensland. I did hit pan on this, so I'll probably be needing a new one soon. From there, I do move on to blush. I put that on my cheeks. I do put a tiny, tiny bit on the bridge of my nose, and then I did not show it, but I do use the Master Chrome highlighter in the shade Molten Gold, and that is the finished look, guys. I hope you really like it.